Welcome back to our 30-day mindset shift challenge. Today is day 13, and we are talking about building an if-then plan. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about driving and rerouting and passengers and putting in destinations in our GPS. But if we're having to reroute, we haven't quite dissected what that looked like for us yet. So we don't know what reroute look like. What are we putting in our GPS when we reroute? Where are we rerouting to? Where are we going to? So we're going to break that down just a little bit today, and then you can just let your minds run wild on what that look like for you in your particular situation, okay? So specific plans can help turn intention into action, but they still require judgment and flexibility. Why? Because life happens. Life happens. You can have the perfect plan planned out, and then life happens. So we have to have that contingency plan, if then, right? So if you already know what usually throws you off track, why are you still acting surprised when it happened? We don't have a contingency plan yet. Let's build one together today, okay? So we want to learn how to prepare for predictable obstacles before they show up in our lives. That way we don't get so thrown off track we're ready to throw in the towel every time. You don't need to predict every problem, but there are some problems you already know are going to approach, right? So you already know what time of the day you normally get tired. When we're tired, we're ready to give up on everything. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. You know what time of the day your body normally gets tired. What type of person gets under your skin? You already know that. You know what your triggers are. What usually causes you to overspend? What makes you procrastinate? What knocks you out of your routine? And what makes you want to quit? Those are important. So instead of waiting until the moment comes and hoping you make a good decision, create the decision before the pressure arrives. Don't wait until the trigger shows up to decide what you'll do, because then you're responding emotionally. So we want to have a contingency plan so we're already prepared for that moment. And of course, you can't plan for every single thing, but to have some things in our toolkit can be very helpful for us. An if-then plan is a pre-decided response. So if I feel like skipping my workout today, then I'll do 10 minutes instead of just doing nothing. All right, that's an example. If I want to make an impulse purchase, then I'll wait 24 hours before I decide to go ahead and buy it. So maybe if I want it, I'll put it in my shopping cart, but I'll wait 24 hours before I decide whether or not I really want that thing or not. Okay. If I get discouraged after a rejection, then I will review what I can learn before deciding my next turn. If I miss one day of my routine, then I'll return the next day instead of waiting until Monday. Pick up where you left off and keep moving. Don't create the plan in the middle of the storm. Create it while it's clear. My grandmother used to say all the time to prepare the roof is when the sun is shining. You don't wait till it rains to want to prepare the roof. So you want to make sure we're being proactive instead of reactive, okay? What predictable obstacle keeps interrupting my progress? Is it lack of time or lack of planning? Is it lack of money or impulse spending? Is it lack of discipline or an environment that keeps pulling you backwards? Is it fear, or are you calling fear waiting for the right time? That's different. The goal is to name the pattern honestly, okay? If this happens, then I will do what? You know what normally shows up for you. If I feel overwhelmed, then I will shrink the task instead of abandoning it. If someone pressures me to spend money I didn't plan on spending, maybe we're going out, maybe everybody's out having a good time, or you're at dinner and everybody want to try the new dessert and things like that, you don't really have it in your budget, then you say it's not in my budget right now. And it's okay to say that. There's nothing wrong with that. Why do we feel so embarrassed and ashamed to say stuff like that? Everybody has been there. Unless you were just born into money, you've been there. If I start doubting myself, then I will review the progress I've already made before making a decision. Celebrate the progress you made. Sometimes we don't even give ourselves enough credit. You've already made progress. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Look at what you've already done and then reroute. What can you pick up on from there? What can I learn? What can I do differently? How can I build on what I've already done? Plans should help you, not trap you. So we want our if-then plan to be our contingency plan, our backup plan, our fallback, instead of just giving up. Planning is powerful, but life changes. We know that. Wisdom means knowing when to stick with the plan and when to reroute. Sometimes we just don't want to give up because we've already committed to it, and committing to something is not a bad thing. But in the words of Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Some things are worth continuing on, building on, rerouting. And sometimes we may just have to start over, and that is okay too. It's your life. You only get one. You only get one. And I refuse to let somebody else tell me how to live it. I don't care if I have to start over 20 times, and that's just what it's going to take. Discipline is not stubbornness. Sometimes the destination stays the same, but the route has to change. Quitting says, this got hard, so I'm done. Flexibility says, this route isn't working, so I'm adjusting. Okay? You're allowed to change the method without abandoning the mission. You can do that. You're allowed. You have permission, okay? You can be human. I know people don't like to let you be human, but you can be human. It's okay. Plans should help you, not trap you. So we want to make sure we are, I wanted to bring that back to the forefront of your mind, because a lot of times we feel trapped in that plan. We do. We feel like, okay, this is what I said I'm going to do, and I'm working on me. I'm working on being a better version of me. I want to do this better. And so I'm just going to stick to it because I said I was going to do it. Be wise. Be wise, okay? In our PRND framework, P, prayed, I seek direction. R, responded. I responded thoughtfully, not emotionally. N, never cease. I prepare for setbacks instead of using them as excuses. I prepare for setbacks instead of using them as excuses. D, driving. I execute the plan when the moment comes. In due timing. Everything is in due timing. It's in due timing. Prepare, but don't be too eager. Execute it in due time, and you'll know when that time is. So, come up with a reroute plan today. That's what I want you to do today. That's your exercise for today. My reroute plan is, my predictable obstacle is, when it usually happens, I'm going to, or I will, or I have, and then what I normally do. Now I want you to say, my new if-then response is going to be, if so-and-so happens, then I will blank, okay? Finish that blank. Our declaration for today. I prepare for obstacles without surrendering to them. Stop waiting for the same obstacle to surprise you. If you know it's coming, prepare. If you know your weakness, build a system around it. If you know what usually knocks you off course, create the reroute before you need it. We always talk about preparing and getting in position before you really need to be in position. Preparation doesn't mean nothing will go wrong. It means when something does go wrong, you already know how to get back in position. Build a plan, protect the destination, and keep driving. Get your shift together because we got somewhere to go. See you tomorrow.